Let's talk about attaching the head to your monster's body. Now, there's a couple options. With my plan here, I have a body and then I'm attaching a head at the top. So right now I have made the body and I have a pinch pot for the head. However, just because you make the pinch pot for the head doesn't mean you're all set. Definitely check if the pinch pot is going to fit how you want it to. And to be honest, this pinch pot is a little too big for the head of my monster. So what I'm going to do is redo my pinch pot. But before I move on, things to think about. Again, this goes back to your plan. Some of you might have a plan where the head is part of the body. Like that's it. This is the body and the head is right here. These are just two pinch pots attached together. Some of you are just adding one head. So these are the two pinch pots attached together. This is one pinch pot attached at the top. That is what I'm going to demonstrate here. The other option, which I'll show you in the video, is actually having your two pinch pots attached together for a body. And then the head is also made of two pinch pots attached together. And there's something very important to make sure that there's air flowing between the two. And do you have to have one head? No, you can have two heads if you want to. Same idea though. We have a body made of two pinch pots attached together and we have one head here, one head here. Could you have three heads? Could you have four heads? Sure, it's up to you. I'll show you one strategy for adding the head. Here's the body. At some point, you're going to have to decide what's going to be the top and bottom part of your monster. That's your decision. After that, you have created a head. And again, revisit your plan. Figure out if this is the size that you want for the head. Maybe it's placed a certain way, right? It depends on the emotion of your monster. So I can't just put this right on top because we're trapping air inside of here. So what do I have to do? First of all, figure out where your head's going to go, right? So the head is going to go here. So what I have to do though is cut a hole at the top of the body. So I'm just using the fettling knife to cut in there. You can always make it a little bit wider. I wouldn't make it too wide because we don't want to, make it hard for you to attach that pinch pot. But now, when we put this on top, we'll definitely have air flowing between the body and the head. Again, if this is covered, we can't just put the head on top because we'll trap air. So we need to have air flowing in between. Now, what do I do next is I need to score and slip. So I'm going to go ahead and score this. And when you come back, you'll see me ready to attach these two together. So what I've done here is I have scored here, and now I'm going to apply slip. And now I'm going to attach this together. And you do have to blend it with your fingers or with a sculpting tool, but now you want to make sure you blend it all together. So that's how you attach just one pinch pot. All right, here's another method for adding the head. Same thing though. Here's the body, here's the head. What is this? Well, this is two pinch pots attached together. So now I need to get this though onto here. And notice I end up actually with a better neck. If I went ahead and used this method, then I'm gonna have to work on bringing the neck out. And I'll show you how to do that in this same video. But how do you attach something like this? Well, the problem is if I attach this to this, there is still trapped air inside this part of the head. We want air to flow between the body and the head so none of this blows up. So again, decide with the head where the top and bottom is. So I'm going to use this as the bottom. Now this clay is fairly soft, so be aware. It's going to cut really easily. And there we go. I've cut into the head. I do need to score and slip this, so let me take care of that. Scored and slipped, so let's get this attached. And again, you have to work on it a little bit, getting it all blended together. This is really when a sculpting tool might be more helpful than your fingers, because we do want to hide all the score marks. But this is an easier way to create an automatic neck for your monster. Again, you might already have your plan drawn, But maybe watching this, you got a new idea, and that's okay. But again, this gives you more of an instant neck versus just sticking on one pinch pot. But now this head won't explode when it's fired because there's a hole between the head and the body. The second part of this demo is how to refine the body. This is taking care of everything on the body before we add any arms and legs and tails and all that. Of course, if your clay is still too soft, again, you can kind of move it around because there's trapped air. I have trapped air inside this head here. But like this head right now is a little too soft because I just made it. So I'm definitely gonna let it firm up. But in terms of the body, you can take your rubber rib and you can continue to blend the exterior. Pick it up, take a look at what's happening underneath. Don't worry about any air holes yet. We wanna keep on smoothing out the exterior. And if you really go crazy with this, you should be able to do it without removing too much clay, but you can really work on getting the outside of the body of your monster super, super smooth. You won't get rid of all of the little tiny bumps because that just might be in the walls of the clay, but this is a great method. You can also take your sponge and smooth it out. I'm gonna hold off on refining the head because the clay is just a little too soft, but I can go ahead and actually, if I wanna do some trimming, sometimes if you make the neck a little too thick, you can take your ribbon tool, use your ribbon tool, and you can actually carefully scrape away. For example, if I want to make this part of the neck a little more narrow around the base of the head, I can take my ribbon tool and actually carve in. Just be gentle. You don't want to take huge chunks out because we don't want to cut a hole in the body. But that is a possibility. See how I've already like sculpted away a little bit. It's rough because I need to really work on blending it all together. I'm just going to add a little slip in lieu of moisture. I can always add some water to this. But that's how you refine everything. So you want to get everything smooth before you deal with any appendages.